Wait, what? Hey, this is the Haha, Wait, What? Podcast with Mandy Brooke. I'm an entertainer, content creator, and musician. You may know me from my song parodies and funny antics on Instagram and TikTok. On my podcast, we try to make sense of the confusing parts of life because literally we're all winging it and have no idea what we're doing, and that's totally okay. So relax, grab a glass of wine, and let's chat. Welcome to the podcast, friends. Thank you so much for being here. As many of you know, I just went on a whirlwind trip to Europe. I spent about a month in Italy, and then I also spent some time at the Monaco Grand Prix. And I've gotten a lot of questions on how this happened, what the heck is going on in my life. It was chaotic and crazy, and I have so many stories. But here on the podcast today, I have my mom. So we're going to talk about everything that's happened and the funny stories along the way. So
crazy.
I hope you enjoy it. Thanks, Mom, for being here.
It's my pleasure, Amanda.
Everybody loves you on the podcast. People request your presence constantly.
That is so funny to me. But thank you. That is very flattering.
You're very appreciated, Mom.
Thank you.
Your quick banter and your crassness of your Baltimore shit is just really appealing to people.
Well, I'm going to give it to you then.
And a lot of people think that you're from Philadelphia.
They always do. A lot of people do because Philadelphia has a really strong accent. And I think I'm very Baltimore, but I have a twang too.
You have a little twang, yeah.
I have a twang too. So I'm a mix.
People in Europe actually said that my American accent sounded different. It was weird. Quite a few people said, you have a very different accent. I can't.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
But I was also in a sing-songy voice because I was in London and I didn't want to sound too crass or too hard, you know?
Yeah. Well, Americans tend to be crass. What was that like though? Being around a whole new country of people that you're not used to. What was that like?
It was definitely out of my comfort zone. In Italy especially, everybody rests there. And
lovely.
we love laying down.
We do. We're the best resters. We can chill like nobody's business, can't we?
We can totally chill. We chill hard. Everything shuts down between 1 and 3.
Do they really go take a nap?
Yeah, dude.
They really do.
They stop work, they go take a siesta, and they come back.
Wow.
Dude, it's crazy. Especially in Orvieto. Orvieto was definitely my favorite place in Italy.
It looked beautiful there from your pictures.
Oh my gosh. You have no idea. The cliff, it's like a cliffside town. Actually, it's not even cliffside. It's built on a cliff. And all of these ancient poets and stuff would always comment on how mysterious Orvieto was. And it was a combination of medieval architecture and Renaissance architecture. And it was just you were walking through this medieval village. It was so, so cool.
Did you have any trouble communicating? I know you can't speak a lick of Italian. So how did you do whatever you needed to do?
Hand gestures are a huge thing in Italy. If you know how the hand gestures, you're speaking half the language.
Really?
Yeah. So
did anybody speak American over there, English?
Yeah. Yeah. A whole bunch of people.
What percentage, you think?
Yeah, at least half. At least half spoke a little bit of English, at least. Enough for me to understand where I was going and stuff. It was very cool. I really loved it. But obviously, I tried to learn the language and stuff while I was there.
You didn't learn shit.
I did learn shit.
You did not.
Mother. Il conto, per favore.
Oh, okay. What's that?
I would like the bill. When you're in Italy, you pick up on so many things or grazie mille is thanks a million. I would say that all the time. And people would just get a kick out of it.
Did you kiss any boys?
Of course I did.
Tell me.
Okay, so...
How many boys did you kiss over there?
I only kissed one, and one was all I needed.
Oh, okay.
As you know, I was very stressed out before the trip. I was like so stressed out.
Were you? I didn't notice.
Oh my God. Mom had to help me pack.
It was ridiculous.
I suck at packing. It was like the worst experience of my life, just packing for anything. And so I was like, Mom, please help me.
We had to go day by day. It was so stupid.
It was so dumb. Basically, I get there. By the time I got there, I was so exhausted from the plane and from being so stressed out that I think my immune system like really broke down.
Yeah.
And I was in the coolest alleyway in Rome. I found the best Airbnb ever. It was so eat, pray, love. I couldn't even stand it. It was in these like double doors, the stone walkway. It was so freaking cool. It was exactly what you would ever picture Rome being. And so the first day I was there, I was really tired because of the jet lag because I'd flown all night and didn't sleep. And the next day was when I met the boy.
What's his name?
His name is Lorenzo.
Of course it is. Of course it's Lorenzo.
And so...
Lorenzo from Italy. Go ahead.
So I met Lorenzo walking in the square, and he was working at a restaurant. And as soon as I walked by, he was like, Bella! And he came out. Italian men have this stereotype that American tourists, they want an Italian lover.
Because we do. Because we do. I don't care who you are, you probably do. Go ahead.
I was open to it, but, you know, I wasn't set on it. But anyway, so he was hitting on me. He wanted to see me that evening. And I was like, you know what? You may see me, you may not. I don't know. And he's like, give me your number. And I was like, no. And I walked away. And I explored Rome that whole day, went to the Vatican, walked around. And on my way back, I was walking through this alleyway, and guess who was in the alleyway?
Lorenzo.
So he stopped me. He's like, Bella, do you remember me? And I honestly didn't at first. He was like, I'm the person from the restaurant. I'm like, oh, okay.
Funny.
And so we exchanged numbers. I thought, man, if I'm going to run into him some random alleyway, of course I'm going to go out on a date with him at least, because it may have been divine intervention or something. He might have been my next husband. You never know. So we went out that night. We walked around Rome and stuff. And then I met him later for drinks. And he was just very insistent with me by the time that I got to the restaurant for drinks. He was like, I want to have sex with you. And I was like, I'm good. Like, I'm fine. I don't need that whole thing. And he said, I don't care what you want. I want to have sex with you. And
oh my.
This is literally how he talked too. Like, I'm not trying to stereotype an Italian. Literally, that's how they spoke, or he spoke. And I was like, no, like, I'll give you a kiss, but that's it. He proceeds to stick his tongue down my throat. And I was like, I'm so done. I'm done. So we part ways. It's fine. The next morning, I have a sore throat. And I'm like, mother...
He gave you the crud.
The motherfucker got me sick on the second day I was in Italy. I was so pissed. But I also think it was like a combination of a whole bunch of things, like my immune system being down, the plane ride, all of the stuff.
Could have been.
Yeah. So I proceeded to spend...
the next 5 days in bed?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I pushed through it. I got through Rome, got through a lot of Florence. It was beautiful. I went to the trains and everything, but I was just feeling so much fatigue.
I want to hear the story about you running through this train station trying not to shit your pants.
Well, after Florence, we hit the trains to go to Lake Como, and I was in the Milan train station, and I had been like diarrhea shitting my fucking brains out for like the last 4 days of my trip in Florence. I was dying.
There's nothing worse than being like sick and you're not home.
It was terrible, Mom.
I'm sorry.
It was absolutely horrific. And I was so pissed off too. It was like I was sick and mad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because my ice cream was completely on the fucking floor. Anyway.
Let's talk about Mandy is like the kid that like I had to sit down and explain everything we were doing that day. Like, she was 3 years old and needed an itinerary then. Like, if I didn't tell her we're going to the library, then we're going to the store, and then we're going to drive in the car, and then we're like, she needed an itinerary. If we altered from that itinerary, we used to always say her ice cream fell on the floor. Like, that's the story we say. Like, because she has a vision in her head.
So this trip to Italy was the metaphorical ice cream. I thought I was going to eat, pray, love the shit out of my whole month, and I was just sick basically the entire time. But it ended up being fine. But the ice cream turned into me shitting my pants in the Milan train station.
Yay.
I was just like running through the Milan train station, just crying, trying not to shit my pants. And the motherfuckers made me pay €2 to get into that bathroom.
Oh, so you're trying to hold your shit in.
The
You're
turtle head was
squeezing your
poking
ass.
out.
You're squeezing your ass, and you got to pay money. Oh my God, I would die.
It was the worst moment of my life, clearly. I almost missed the train to Lake Como.
Really?
The train arrived, and it was already there. And when I was with my friend Joanne at this time, thank God, when I was sick. And so she was calling me constantly. She's like, Mandy, the train is here. We gotta go. And I was like busy in the bathroom. I couldn't get out.
You're wiping your ass.
Let's not give people that visual. Well, I've already told them that I shit my pants. Anyway, whatever. It was close to shitting
You're in
my
the
pants.
toilet. The phone's ringing. You're shitting your brains out. You're trying to wipe your ass. The train's coming. Yeah, you're probably sweating. It was like that. That's so funny.
But the plus side, though, is the Milan train station has amazing bathrooms.
Yeah.
They were great bathrooms.
Good.
I wish I would have spent my whole time there.
Oh, stop.
Oh, God. Anyway, so we got to Lake Como. I spent the entire time in the hotel, had chills and fever for days. It was terrible. I had to almost call the ambulance. It would have cost $8,000 for us to get a ferry ambulance, because where we were in Bellagio, you have to get like a ferry in order to get to a different town for the hospital. And Joanne was like, Mandy, it's going to be expensive. I'm like, I can't spend that money.
Wow.
Even if I was dying. So I was stuck, basically. I was stuck in Bellagio.
Why were you going to call the ambulance?
Because I felt like I was going to die. Like I was puking. I was fever, chills. I was so cold. I couldn't even stop my body from moving. It was
poor thing.
It was probably the sickest I've ever been in my whole life.
And you were so far away.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
I was so far away from home. It was terrible.
That's terrible.
I remember calling you and just crying.
I remember.
It was horrible.
There's nothing I could do to help you.
I know. And I did call my friend Christy, and she made me feel a lot better. Christy, if you're listening to this, you're a fucking real one. And she gave me like a game plan, which helped me a lot. But I started feeling better. I did test myself for COVID, and it was negative, but I really don't know if it was COVID or not. It might have just been the Lorenzo flu. That was dumb.
That was really dumb.
Lake Como was no mo.
No, Lake Como was no mo.
And I moved on from Lake Como to Milan to meet my friend Deirdre. I was going to go to Cinque Terre, but I figured it was going to be just too cold for how I was feeling. And I was just then recovering. And so my high school friend Deirdre, thank you, Deirdre.
Hi, Deirdre.
She lives in Milan. And so I decided to spend a few days with her and then get a hotel and just kind of recoup. And
I'm sure she was scared to death. Oh, you were sicker than shit.
Hey,
I'm coming to visit you.
Honestly, no. Deirdre is just such a motherly figure. She's just like, Mandy, I'm going to take care of you. Everything's going to be okay.
I love Deirdre.
I love Deirdre so much. But Milan is definitely different. I didn't expect, I liked it for sure, but there was just some weird energy in Milan. It was very dark there.
Oh, that's the place you were telling me about. It was like, yeah.
That was the only place that I didn't feel comfortable, like, walking around.
You didn't vibe well there.
Yeah, I didn't vibe. But I moved on from there to Venice. And Venice, I felt like I was just sleeping the entire time. I was so freaking tired. So tired.
Venice is the place with the boats, right?
Yeah, Venice is the place with the boats. Beautiful, beautiful scenery, though. A lot of men.
Is it like you see on the commercials with them singing in the boats and stuff?
Oh, yeah. They sang. I didn't take a gondola ride. I said I was going to, but I didn't. And I'm a little pissed about it. And a lot of people on my Instagram asked me if it smelled like fish.
I've heard that it smells like fish and piss.
I'm sure that it smells like fish in the summertime because obviously you're right on the water, but I didn't smell anything. Anyway, so there wasn't much to say about Venice, even though I found the most badass Airbnb. It was right in the Dosadoro.
Oh, that real pretty
neighborhood.
one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was on the second or third floor, and it overlooked the canal. And I was like, I cannot believe this is my view for the amount of money that I paid.
You lucked out.
I lucked out on that Airbnb, and it was beautiful. I was so comfortable there. And I spent 5 days there.
Nice.
And yeah, it was great. It was great. It was a good recoup, but I was just so pissed off that I was so sick.
Yeah.
And I was so tired because all I wanted to do was like walk around and stuff, but I couldn't. And so I actually had a phone call with my spiritual teacher, Sean Dresch. He is badass. And he basically told me, he's like, I know that you are experiencing all of this like dread and you're devastated with how this trip has gone, but I promise you, like, you're purging all of the old energy that you no longer need anymore. Like, by the time you get back from this trip, you're going to be a brand new person. And I really felt that way too. Like, I got rid of a lot of like emotional baggage that I was holding on to.
That was all that shit coming out your ass and all that stuff coming out your throat. You were burping up and gagging all that bad mojo out.
Oh.
That's what was going on.
I think Italy was
purging your demons.
It was an exorcism. Italy was an exorcism for me. No better place to do that than Italy, the Catholic capital of the world. Oh my God.
There you go.
I did go into every single church though that I passed by. I thought
can't hurt.
Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful.
I bet it was.
You would die, Mom. You would have loved it.
I bet it was pretty.
Every Duomo was beautiful. I prayed every single time that I went in there that I wouldn't have a flu butt demon anymore. Mm-hmm. And I lit a candle in every place for Pop Pop.
Aww.
Anyway, so the best part of the trip was Orvieto. I spent 8 days, like I said, in this like little cliffside town, and it was the end of my trip. I finally felt fine. By the way, I lost 8 pounds while I was there because I had no appetite whatsoever. It was a travesty, an absolute disgusting
You're in Italy
disgrace.
And had no appetite.
I had no
That's
appetite,
terrible.
and like the thought of eating carbs made me want to throw up.
Wow.
So I ate so much, like, unfortunately I ate a lot of sushi because it's like Italian food and like sushi and stuff. And so I could not bear to eat like one more thing of pasta or bread. I couldn't do it.
That's crazy.
And now I'm craving it fine. But like when I was there, I was just like surrounded by it and I couldn't look at it. I couldn't even look at it.
That's insane.
It was disgusting. I hated myself.
Oh, well, it was meant to be.
Whatever. And even wine. I couldn't even drink as much wine as I wanted because I couldn't bear
Couldn't get it down.
I purged my demons, Mama. I purged it all. Anyway, so Orvieto was fucking phenomenal.
The place you had in the pictures you had was gorgeous. Your little garden, your garden courtyard. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
So a funny thing happened. You know about this, but right before I went to Orvieto, TV Tokyo contacted me through another influencer friend of mine, and they wanted to do a story on my Airbnb.
You're so lucky.
Like my Airbnb experience. So I was able to film with them through Zoom like the day that I got there, and that was really fun. So I don't know when that special is coming out.
That's cool.
Yeah, it'll be on TV Tokyo, which
that worked out.
So cool.
TV Tokyo.
It's so cool.
So that'll show your whole Airbnb though.
Yeah, that'll show
cool.
my entire Airbnb. I'm so excited for that to come out.
That was cute.
It was so cute. It was in an alleyway again, and the village of Orvieto is so small and so safe. And Orvieto had like all the cobblestones and all like the cafes. And so I met a couple cute guys there, and
that's so fun.
It was fun. I feel like I definitely went through like another spiritual awakening in Italy because I purged so many fucking demons and pooped my brains out.
Well, you should be very awake now then.
Yeah. But because of that trip...
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
I needed a really big break by the time I got back home. And because of that trip, that's how I landed the trip to Monaco.
Which you scored.
Yeah.
That was incredibly crazy and so lucky. And so, wow. Wow.
I couldn't freaking believe it. Like, I went with a couple friends of mine that I met on my first trip to Italy in last October. And we went with a group of people with the McLaren team for the F1 race.
For the Grand Prix.
For the Monaco Grand Prix. It was nuts. And I just didn't know, like, I remember getting home from Italy and being like, Mom, I need to get clothes. And so, like, where do we go to get clothes in Florida? We went to Dillard's.
Well, we didn't have time to, like, go to any big cities like Jacksonville or Orlando or anything because you didn't have time. It was, like, right there. So I'm like, well, let's go to Dillard's to see how we do. And we scored!
We got the best outfits ever.
We did.
We did. You found that freaking navy blue dress, that razor navy blue dress that looked like a perfect race day outfit. You motherfucker.
Yep.
You got that shit.
Cue booty dance.
Yes. And we found those dresses pretty quickly. I was impressed.
We did.
And
you know what? Note to self, always grab stuff that you think that's not going to, like, it looks better on than off. Because there was that brown one that I thought had to look better on than off. And I can't believe you looked stunning in that.
That nude Tommy Hilfiger dress. That was my favorite dress that I wore the entire trip.
Yep.
And I remember you picking that out and I was like, Mom, it's gonna make me look so pale and wash me out. And you were like, no, it's not. And you were right. It was good. It was a good dress.
So good.
It was my favorite dress.
Sounds so funny. We went to Dillard's to get outfits for the Grand Prix in Monte Carlo. It's true.
And then one of my friends on Instagram named Parisian Sweet, his name is Jack, and he is a stylist, and he told me, like, Mandy, if you come to London, I'll style you. And I was like, shut up, let's do it.
How fun is that, by the way?
I know.
Who gets to do that? Mandy. Mandy does.
And so I went to London first. I spent like a couple days with Jack. It was the most chaotic ride of my entire life because he is just so fun and just going here, there, and everywhere. He showed me all of the local places in London, especially where you get all of the best clothes. And he took me to Harrods department store.
That's cool.
Shut up. Everything was designer, crazy. Like, I've never seen anything like that in my life.
I'd be a fish out of water in that store.
You know what? He knew every manager and every worker, and we got champagne in the store. It was amazing.
That's fun.
It was so
who
fun.
Who gets to have champagne when they're shopping? Only Real Housewives. That's the only time I've ever seen
it. Only Real Housewives.
That's the only time I've ever seen it is Real Housewives. That's it.
Oh my gosh. It was fantastic. It was fantastic.
It
was so fun. The day that I got to London, and within the first 10 minutes I was meeting Jack, he goes, so there's a celebrity party happening tomorrow. Would you like to come? And I was like, there's a bear shit in the fucking woods, Jack. Yes, I do want to come. And it ended up being Lisa Snowden's book signing. And Lisa Snowden is very known for winning MasterChef. And she was also like a Vogue model. Like, I mean,
she's beautiful.
She's gorgeous woman.
She's got with George Clooney.
Yep.
So how was the celebrity party though?
It was so fun. So I got a makeover before that and I wore a dress that Jack picked out for me. He dyed my hair in the Airbnb that we were in.
Wow. But it looks gorgeous.
Thank you. He picked the most perfect color, box color.
He did.
It was a box color.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm scared. He was like, trust me, darling. And he freaking did my hair and it looked so amazing.
It makes your eyes pop so bad. It's not even funny. Your green eyes look so pretty in that color.
Thank you. Thank you, Mom. This hair has been waiting for me my entire life.
It has. It has.
And then he had the perfect cut. He was like, this is how I want your hair to be done.
I was nervous.
I was nervous too. And he took me to Larry King and he paid for it too.
Oh.
Yeah, it was so very sweet.
Know that. That's so sweet.
He is such a sweet man. And
thank you, Jack.
Jackariah. So they cut my hair perfectly. They blow dried it, everything. We got ready for the party. It was called the Red Room in London. And so we go up these stairs. There's paparazzi outside.
Shut up.
Really? Yeah, dude.
That's fun.
They didn't take a picture of me. But I told Jack, I was like, you know what? In a year, they're going to wish they had a picture
That's
of
right.
me.
That's right, bitches.
Hopefully. That would be fun. And then I entered the party and Jack turns around to me. He said, darling, this is the who's who of the UK. And I look around and I'm like, well, I know fucking no one. So this is perfect for me. And so I talked to people and I really wasn't scared. I danced and I had a good time. And somebody told me that I looked like Cindy Crawford.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, like a more voluptuous Cindy Crawford. But they said, you need to color in your mole.
That's funny.
Because I have a little beauty mark on
You do?
next to my nose.
You should darken it.
I should darken it, shouldn't I?
Why not?
Oh my God. I could be the next Cindy Crawford.
You really should, especially with your dark hair now.
Oh my God. Yeah, that would be really cool.
Do it.
Do it.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. And then I met this super hot Irish guy. Oh my God. I'm still sad about it.
I love Irish guys.
Ugh. We talked for like 45 minutes at the bar and his friends were trying to introduce him to another girl. And he goes, no, it's okay. However, Irish people talk. I don't know how they do their accent, but he's like, no, it's okay. I'm talking to Mandy. And I was like, shut up. This new hair is like.
You were working it.
Bringing it. It was bringing all the vibes. And the Irish guy was actually going to be at the Monaco Grand Prix working.
I don't think you realize that when you say I'm going to the Monaco Grand Prix, like people, like you have no concept of that. You're freaking clueless of what that even means. So
I am.
The innocence of that is actually kind of cute.
I didn't have a concept of the Monaco Grand Prix. I really had no idea what I was doing until Mother's Day. And you were at breakfast with me and you're like, Mandy, you're going with the McLaren team. Like, do you know what that means? I'm like, I don't even know what a McLaren is. And it was just like...
We had to show her the cars, like...
And then I got really nervous.
And then, like, all the money in Monaco and just, like, she didn't have a clue. I mean, I don't have a clue. I didn't have a clue. I'm from Baltimore. I do not have a clue what that looks like, but I know that I don't know. So I figured it out.
You know what? I think I go through a lot of my life like that. I think it's a blessing in disguise because it doesn't make me nervous for certain things that I probably should be nervous for.
Yeah. I would have shit my pants. Instead of going to the train station, shit my pants, I would have shit my pants going to Monaco. So it's a good thing you probably didn't know.
I left London after the celebrity party. It was so fun. I didn't know anybody, but I'm just so happy to make like so many cool friends. They're just so fun. Then I went to Geneva to meet the crew that I was going with to Monaco. And I spent one day in Geneva and that was amazing. We had like a sunset dinner. The pictures from that night are epic. And then the next day we took a private jet to Nice.
What?
Yes. It was so cool. I posted a reel about it on my Instagram.
So fun.
And you know what? I did that for you. You know that?
I know you did.
Because normally I don't post stuff in real time. Like this wasn't an influencer trip of any sort. This was a very cool opportunity that was presented to me that I took from the Biggers touring company. I'll just say that much. People keep asking me what Monaco was like in real life, and it's so hard to explain. The excess of wealth was so immense, and it was so insane. There were $100 drinks.
It hasn't sunk in yet.
It hasn't sunk in yet. I mean, I've only been back about a week.
Yeah, it hasn't sunk in completely.
Yeah. I mean, me, Shallon, and Kelly got 3 lattes. We got 3 iced lattes, and they were $150.
That's insane.
It was nuts. And the hotel that we stayed in was like a luxury hotel. It was called the Hotel Metropole.
And you were looking right down on the cars.
Yep.
Like, people would have shot you for that. Like, they would have, like, mugged you in the street for that ticket to look straight down at those cars in Monte Carlo. And if you're a car person, like, or a race person, like, holy mother of God.
I remember getting to the hotel, getting to that lounge and seeing all the race cars like right below us. And I sat down and I was watching Shallon and Kelly, watch the cars at the terrace. And I just like had my glasses on. Thank God. I was crying the entire time. I was crying on the private jet. I was crying like in the lounge. And I remember Shallon turned around and she was like, like that. And I guess I looked like really good. And she took a picture. She's like, you look so pretty right now. And I'm like, really? And she showed me the picture. It was really cute. And she was like, you just looked like you were just in your element. I'm like, bitch, I am. Like, this is.
You were soaking all that shit in.
I was soaking it all in. And it was fun. Like the McLaren team, they had like a yacht party. And so I was on a yacht and I danced the whole time. And I was actually featured in the McLaren video.
So if you watch the McLaren video for 2023, Mandy's in there twice. Of course she is. Of course you are.
How many times did you watch that?
1.5 million. That was crazy. I was just nuts. And your father was so funny. Like, I remember he called and I said, Mandy, of course, made the McLaren video, the official McLaren video for the race or something. He was like, really? I'm like, yeah, she's in it twice. He goes, I'll be right over. And like, he like flew down here. He couldn't stand it. Like, it's so funny. It's cute.
It was so fun. I sat down and I showed Mom like every single picture I had in my camera roll.
It took forever, but it was like I lived every moment of it. It was like she took me with her. It was really cool.
It was awesome.
I loved it. Like, that's what you think a private jet's going to be like.
And it was. Everything that you thought you think about a private jet, or you think about Monaco or Monte Carlo or the French Riviera, all of it is real. All of it's true.
Just to be able to say that you were in the French Riviera, like, I did not know that that's what that was called.
Bro, I didn't know that until I got back. I got to Nice the day before I left, and I saw a magnet, and it was like the French Riviera. I'm like, oh shit, I'm in the French Riviera. Like, this is what it means. Like, I felt so dumb.
No, it's just you don't know until you know. And how do you know? You don't know. I lived for those Instagrams. I would get up in the morning, get my coffee, and freaking wake up and look on there, and lived every second of that. And I watched them. If I didn't watch them 10 times, I watched them 30 times. And I was so there with you. Even though I wasn't physically there, I was so spiritually and mentally there with you, because it was just, I was exhausted. I was exhausted and I didn't even go. I was so excited most of the time. Like, when you were getting ready to go to a party and stuff, like, I couldn't eat. I was pacing the floors until you posted a picture. And then I was like, okay, she's there. Like, it was so emotionally draining.
Oh my God.
It's true. It was so fun. I wasn't even there.
Every story, every post was for my mother. Please don't get that twisted. It was for my mom, so she could see everything.
And I appreciated that, every bit of it.
It was so fun. And honestly, it was for my family too, because my mom was saying like everybody was watching. And so it was just a way for me to just show everybody like what was happening.
I mean, my neighbors were asking. I'd walk the dog. My neighbors were asking. And my mother's neighbors were asking. Like, it was a whole freaking thing. Like, a whole Mandy moment. You took us all with you. You did. Aww. And it was fun. That was fun.
Because honestly, I felt like I don't like to show off like that too much, because I don't want anybody to ever feel bad about it or anything.
It didn't come off like that. It came off like, oh my God, who gets to go in a private jet? You're just a normal person and you're getting to do all these fantastical things that, you know, it's a once in a lifetime adventure you just went on. And so to not show everybody, like, if they took it another way, then fuck them.
Well, to come from like not close to a year ago on June 13th, that's when my life changed because that video went viral and then everything started happening after that. But it's been a year. Like a year ago, I was broken, heartbroken, and fucking delivering bread. And I was thankful for the job, of course, but I didn't know what the heck I was doing and I was scared. And then now, like in a year, like
look at all the things you've done in a year.
It's wild.
You've done an amazing, you've had an amazing journey, and it's been really fun to watch.
Thanks,
Keep
Mom.
going, baby. Keep going.
Thank you.
Because it's fun, and you're doing good, and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Thanks,
you
Mom.
are.
But it was the funnest time of my life. I can't even get over it. So if you watched it on Instagram in real time, thank you so much for watching and liking the reels and engaging with me. It was just the time of my life, and I'm glad I was able to share it with so many people that supported me through it.
Whoop whoop.
Well, I think that's about it. You know, we covered Lorenzo, we covered Monaco Grand Prix, we covered the cars and the yachts and the welcome dinner and the guys.
Yeah.
I mean, there were many more men that I'm just not going to mention.
Oh, that sounded really...
Well, I wasn't a slut.
Oh, that's good to know. Okay, maybe we should stop here.
I'm very picky with my kitty. I don't do it with everybody.
God, please stop. Jesus.
You know.
Okay. Love ya. I gotta go smoke a cigarette. Bye.
That's how we're gonna end every single podcast with you on it. It's like, I gotta smoke a cigarette.
I gotta smoke a cigarette. Bye.
Before I end this episode, I really want to thank the people that made these trips possible for me. My mom was the one that encouraged me to go to Italy in the first place, and without her encouragement, I would have never gone. Even though I got sick, it was still a life-changing experience. And I want to thank Shallon for inviting me to the Monaco Grand Prix, and Kelly and my new bestie, Sarah. And the person that made the Monaco trip possible is quite private, so I just want to thank you. You know exactly who you are, mister, and you gave me a life-changing experience. If you love my podcast, please review, subscribe, and share so it becomes more visible to besties like you. Until next time, be a fucking delight, bitch.